It's nice to have someone who is your advocate. We've got some experts right here going to talk about it, everybody. Giddy up. Welcome everyone to Your Little Castle Show. We are always looking for those experts in our world, in our community, that are making a difference, that are making an impact, that are helping. People talk about the fact that business does not exist except that it is there to help people. That's why like people like there's a need, and in America we figured out a way to like if you help people, you can actually make a living doing that. Mm-hmm. Kind of a cool strategy. It's kind of revolutionary. I think Adam Smith in 1670 or something like that came up with the idea. Anyway, so it's kind of he's in Austria. I'm getting weird with my background study of the history of the United States and why this whole little system kind of works. But you want to have the people that are doing good work in the community, and that's why we reached out to you guys to say, hey, we'd like to have you guys as guests on the Your Little Castle show.
Well, thank you for having us.
And we appreciate you guys taking the time to do that. So in studio, everybody, I've got Lindsay DiTore. Did I say it right?
You did.
And
well done.
Anthony Eaton. You can see them sitting here on our wonderful set. Brought to you by Carroll House Furniture, because you like nice things in your little castle. Thank you, Carroll House. And my buddy, My Metal Pro. We'll talk about them more as we go on here. But thanks for joining us. What is it that gets you guys to wake up every day to do this? This is kind of fun. Helping people put that, I mean, given the situation, sometimes it's a tough situation somebody's in. And
yeah.
Who can help us? Our house is very much damaged.
It's very topically relevant these days because we just had the tornado blow through. We've had aggressive storms lately. What gets us up, you said it earlier, is helping people. We're able to go into communities that have been damaged and affected by storms and help a homeowner take care of the biggest investment most people make in their lives, which is where they live. Your home protects you. It protects your family. It protects things that you hold dear. And when something happens to it and it's been compromised, it can be scary. And going through the process of restoration can be overwhelming. So we're able to step in and truly help people get back to pre-storm condition.
Yeah, I mean, it's literally, you talked about it, it's their number one asset. It's something they'd like to use as their retirement vehicle.
It's their castle.
Yeah, right. It's their little castle, everybody.
See?
The hair stands up in my arms when she says that. Well, tell me, before taking your role, what was your biggest? Oh man, this is going to be a big challenge, but you took it on, and vice president, is that right?
Yeah, I'm VP of sales.
Okay, tell me about it.
I came from the insurance side of things, actually. So stepping into it was like almost what felt like going to the dark side. You know, you're going over to the storm restoration side. But I got to help my customers so much more from this side, actually access what they needed to get their homes protected. But it's scary. You're stepping into the unknown. Mm-hmm. Anthony has a similar experience.
Yeah, Anthony, tell me, what for you was it? I mean, you had to switch industries.
I did. I switched industries completely. I switched from the restaurant and I came over to construction side. And when I did that, what I realized very quickly is that people, they were coming to me for food. I'm now coming to them when it comes to restoration and also the services they need with their insurance company. So it was really just understanding the confidence that you needed while going door to door and talking to people that are complete strangers. You're going and you're knocking on these homes that Lindsay spoke about. And it's ensuring that you can definitely overcome those challenges, those fears in your mind, those blockers that would stop you from wanting to find that success. So giving people the education in the area that we are here to overcome something that a lot of people don't know what steps to take next. We're here to help you with that step.
And we've found a lot of people from restaurants transition really well into this industry.
Yeah.
You're used to handling
long
crabby
hours.
people, the long hours. you know how to calm someone down if they're upset.
Yep. It was just many years of management and managing people in the restaurant, for me. And then it turned into, okay, I want to take my career by the reins, if you would, and I want to make something for myself. And what that turned into is me helping even other people now on our teams within Advocate, and it's amazing to see.
Well, yeah, I was going to say, I think everyone should at some point in their life work in the restaurant industry.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Back when I was in college, I worked at a little place called Pasta House.
Okay.
Very large chain. Yeah. And I actually did real well as a busser, and then I became a waiter. and I wasn't as good as waiting
Different ballgame.
And it was just kind of like a learning curve thing. But man, I could bust, and sometimes I'd make more money than the waiters because you hustle around. Everybody had to give their little cut of their deal, right? Helps you learn about business. Helps you learn about the way, hey, you actually work for a living. You work. The harder you work, the better you perform, the more money you make. Yeah. Similar concept here. Tell me what it's like. As a matter of when Advocate does an awesome job, there's a good way to make a living here.
There really is. Like we had said before, you're out there helping people in the community that have been affected. And insurance companies pay for that. We're also able to help someone with any sort of retail project that they want on their home. But it's lucrative to be able to do that for a salesperson getting started in this. We read a book recently about the idea of going door to door. And since not a ton of people are like super excited about it, the joke was it's the quickest way to make the most amount of money you can legally. You are out there in the community helping people and providing the service that's desperately needed by people, even if they don't realize it when you first knock on their door. And then you get paid to do it. You get paid to be out there helping people. I like to say I've never worked harder in my life, but I've never been more rewarded for the work that I've done. And that's financially, but it's also personally and professionally. I've grown so much in this role and learned how to help not just my family, but other people that we've onboarded as well hit their goals. And that's the most rewarding part of it.
And when you think about when you tie in effort to what your compensations can be, it's really how much do you want to earn? It's how hard do you want to work? What level are you willing to go to make sure that you and your family can be, sustainable or whatever you're looking to do?
That's important. I mean, gosh, what an opportunity because there's so many places on this planet. It's a gamble, or the numbers are kind of set, and this is as much as you can make given what role they have. But
our comp structure is set up different. So we do not cap your earning potential when you are in sales. Okay. So you can, how hard are you going to work?
Right.
How many people can you go help in any given day? How many times can you give away an inspection for free? Can you give away something for free? You absolutely can. So how many times can you do that? And how many times can you help people? And you can earn however much you want. You can set a goal, and we can show you through our numbers how to hit that goal and what you need to do every single day to stay on track and hit it.
Well organized, everybody. Here, take note on that one. I'm breaking out the pencil early here, everybody. Write that down because so many companies are just... somebody who started my own company a number of years ago, and now we're just trying to get through how do we pay the bills and how do I compensate those that are working with me. It's a battle that you've got to figure out because you can't sink the ship in the process of paying people, but you got to pay people what it's worth and give them that incentive. A benefit, I'm off of my tangent here a little bit because I want to ask you, let's jump into that right now. What's the toughest lesson you learned as a matter of, and this question is for both of you, what's the toughest lesson you guys have learned by being here working in this industry? I mean, this is a tough place to be in terms of like you're dealing with some intense issues a lot of times when people's houses were destroyed, but it's obviously very rewarding. What would you say?
It's so rewarding. We really, really work hard to bring integrity to an industry that sometimes doesn't have the best reputation. You hear about storm chasers that come in town and take your check and leave you high and dry. You hear about these horrible stories on the news, and we're in the community. We live here. We live and serve the communities that we are working in. And, kind of overcoming that can be a bit of a challenge. Learning if you have what it takes to face rejection or to get yelled at every once in a while by someone who is wondering why you're on their front step and they don't realize they need your help yet. Staying motivated. I mean, you really have to find self-motivation to succeed here.
Yeah, and when you think about it, on top of the motivation piece, it's the idea that you can make someone so angry so quickly if you just don't follow your word, right? And so it's important that while through our training, we are showing people how can we maintain that you are going to keep your word, especially that we've trained throughout the process, making sure that that homeowner feels well informed and guided throughout every step of our process, because it's a lengthy one. And that's the lessons that we learn at times, is if communication drops, that whole process can drop. And so it's important that you ensure you stay tied to it, especially with your customers that you're working with.
Yeah, I mean, you're in a space where, like, literally this is where they raise their kids. This is where they wake up every day. This is where they're going to spend their time with their family. And if something goes wrong, their biggest fear has got to be, I mean, mine is, I had a storm come through here 2013, the tornado that we all had.
Oh, yeah.
And I found somebody else's chimney stack in my front yard. I'm like, where'd that come from? Because mine's up on my roof still. So this was and it was, very frightening to imagine. And then it's into the Now, are they going to fix it the right way? And who's
Oh,
going to
yeah.
do it? And can I trust them? And those are all the important things. And with the history you guys have, I pulled up your guys' reviews, your BBB, A+. You guys obviously know what you're doing. And so it puts a lot of people at ease.
The biggest compliment someone gives us is when they refer a friend or neighbor to us. When we've done such an excellent job for them that they trust the people that they care about with us. That happens with effort. It's a lot of moving parts, working with an insurance company or even just walking someone through a process of deciding to restore their home on their own. And it takes a lot of organization. It takes a lot of effort on the salesperson's part. And then on our entire team, we have an excellent construction team. So sales helps over here, and then we pass it on to construction that then brings in the team to restore the home. And then sales jumps back in to make sure that they're happy with the process and kind of wraps up everything in a bow for them. So it takes organization, it takes effort, it takes a lot of self-motivation. But if you have those components, your earning potential is unlimited. And the amount of people you can help in a year is unlimited, which is what's most exciting. I think a lot of sales roles, you're sitting there waiting for someone to walk onto your car lot or walk into your store, and you're just sitting there waiting for the opportunity to come to you. And what's so unique and neat about what we do is you just go get your opportunity every morning. You just go out and get it. And I don't know many other positions where you can just go create your future like that.
I'm going to give a little more advocate because, and I say I'm not allowed to officially endorse anyone because that's the rules within our space. But I do see the good work that you do. And I can argue just in general, the fact is that I have one of my best friends in the same space as you guys. And we talk about these things. It's a matter of there are always storms. In the Midwest. It is just a matter of time. Is there going to be one storm or two storms or three storms that year that affect the region? And then what part of the region to do that? And how do they determine, the damage? And then they have to have that surveyed. And that's where you guys really come in and say, hey, I'm an expert. We are very closely regulated, monitored reviews. You cannot take advantage of somebody or else you will not stay in business. And so you got to have the people.
Especially in a town like St. Louis.
Yes.
Everybody knows everyone. So you have to really stand by your word and do excellent work to stay in business here.
Very, very good point. Well, what would you say has been your proudest achievement? And tell me why.
Oh man, my proudest achievement. I'll go first. My proudest achievement so far, obviously, has been just not only coming into a new organization and just overcoming all challenges that I thought would just be tough, be hard, but now growing to a level to where I start to give the experiences that I started to have in my first couple of years, which was earning my first commission check. When you think about what that does for somebody, my family and me, we were, just through the roof, tears in a grown man's eyes. They were here because it was the most money I'd ever made in my entire life. And so when that happened, I recognized immediately, I can transfer this. I can transfer this to the next person that is coming behind me. And so now doing this for 10 years, I am so proud to say that I have a full team behind me that I've been able to also train in the idea that I know they've been able to have that same impact, earning that money for their family, being able to go out and help a community that now we can call out to the St. Louis area and say that we are a contractor for life for over, you think about the St. Louis area, at least 8,000 customers.
We promote from within. So every single person that is in our management team and executive leadership started out knocking doors. We knocked doors. I took roof appointments. Most of us have gotten on roofs with adjusters. You build your way up through the organization. And I don't know many companies where you don't risk someone who has worked outside or not known the industry as well as you, not just stepping in and being your leader and your manager. But here, you know that if you hire on and you work really hard, the career path is there for you. The opportunity is there. So I can agree with Anthony. The most exciting thing is seeing people that we have onboarded that have maybe struggled or haven't been able to reach their full career potential buying their first home, like getting engaged, starting a family, like seeing people work really, really hard and then get the success outside of work that they want. That's why we work. We're not out there volunteering. We work to thrive outside of work. And seeing people choose to get up and grind and make that choice and then thrive is by far the most exciting thing that we do.
I warned you, when you say something community-based, I'm putting the head on. We talk about helping families to literally build a family,
Yeah.
and give them that place and give them that career path. I mean, so many people are looking for that career path, somewhere secure, somewhere they know they can provide for their family,
Yeah.
and make a decent living. It's just there's a lot of jobs out there that you can get by, but you want to do more than get by. And
No, you want to thrive. One of our proudest things that we did during COVID was we sat, everyone was terrified. I mean, that was a scary time most of us lived through. And people were losing their jobs left and right. They were having their salaries cut in half just so the companies could stay alive. And we sat and brainstormed for countless hours trying to figure out how we don't let go of anyone. Like, everyone on our team is vital and critical and is there supporting their families. And we didn't lay one person off during COVID. And that was something that was a huge goal. And we were able to achieve that and keep our staff going and getting paid and earning and helping their community during a time where not only storms were still happening, but this whole other scary thing was happening as well. And we found a way to keep our staff safe while out there working. And that was also a huge achievement that we were able to say we did.
Interesting. Very good information for everybody. If you understand what the big picture is, that's what we try to bring to the table here for everyone to understand. Every business is out there to serve a purpose and provide and contribute to our community. So that's really cool.
We don't really advertise.
No.
Speaking of community, we don't spend money really on advertisements. We don't buy leads the way that a lot of companies do. We work off referrals. We are out knocking in the community, helping people that have been storm affected. But instead of pouring a ton of money into advertising, telling people that we're good, we put money into charitable organizations. So we support community efforts, food banks. We support the local Little League team. We sponsored one of my kids' soccer events. Like, we throw money into golf.
Yeah, I'm in a golf organization. Every year we have a September golf outing that's in September that our team and also our company absolutely pours support into because it was one of our customers. And so it's a benefit for him that also goes into the Shriners and all of the wonderful charitable organizations that we could be a part of.
So instead of spending money on advertising, we prefer to pour it into the communities where we're working and serving.
Here we go, everybody. Now we're hitting on all the things that the Cardinal Cowboy likes to talk about. I've worked with 250 plus charities, and St. Louis is known to be the most charitable city in the country, by the way, by volume in terms of funds raised. Look that up. So it's really cool that you guys are doing a lot of that. Here's an interesting one I've got for you. But if it was your job to convince someone to not apply to work for Advocate, what would you say?
To not apply?
To not apply.
Man.
I've convinced people not to
I was about to
apply.
say, you know, when I think about, you know, the people that don't find motivation, you know, the people that definitely can't put the next foot forward, I don't want, you know, the person that necessarily can't overcome something in their brain. When you think about mental obstacles, they're a thing. And so folks that don't have that motivation, I would say those are the folks that we are definitely going to struggle with when you think about those guys coming in here. We've seen that, and we've seen it turn quickly. And so, you know, we are looking for people that are highly motivated, that want to earn, learn, and also, you know, develop, if you would, to become a better person in the world. The best version of yourself, if you would.
Our sales role is the best job ever for the right person, and it's also the worst job ever for the wrong person. If you are uncomfortable with rejection, if you aren't motivated and you're going to struggle to get out of your truck that morning and go help people, it's going to be a terrible job for you. But if you are wanting to help people and you are self-motivated and you want to have your income tied to your efforts, it's not a 9 to 5. You don't clock in, you don't clock out. You will have customers call you late at night. You'll have them wake you up early in the morning because they're concerned about their home. Right. Of course they are. So if that isn't going to be a fit for you, this will not work out. It just won't. So, but if you're dialed in, you're ready to help, we don't necessarily have a work-life balance. We say that it's more work-life integration because you're always going to be out, you know, at a restaurant, you're going to talk to someone, they got affected, then you switch into work mode and you're talking about how you can get someone out to help them. You're sitting at a Little League game next to someone whose roof we did and you switch into work mode. It's just, it's neat, but the connections are there everywhere. But it is more of an integration than a clock out and leave the job at work.
There you go, ladies and gentlemen. So if you don't like helping people, then maybe you shouldn't work for Advocate, right? Because
If you don't want to make good money.
good money and help people sounds like a good combination for anybody who wants to thrive on this little planet. I mean, we all understand we're here for a short period of time, and whether that's 80 years, 90 years, however somebody may live, it goes quick. I recall doing this Cardinal Cowboy thing back in 2004, and all of a sudden we're 2025. I'm like, what happened? But it goes fast because if you're out there doing good things, encouraging the community and helping other people, you'll be happy while you're doing it. And if you can make a living at it, that's a win-win-win for everybody, because you're going to help provide somebody that home that they need. And often, I mean, it's helping people to keep a house that might have depreciated in value because they didn't take care of it. And you're saying, hey, by the way, insurance companies, I know you have to deal with that very often. You help with that whole process. And that really helps people to make sure that they're getting taken care of.
People pay their insurance month after month after month after month. It needs to be there when you have a critical event happen at your home. And we can help them navigate and access the tools that can be tricky. It's not always an easy process. So we've been through it thousands and thousands of times. So being able to help someone access it in a way that isn't overwhelming and scary for them, to get what they have been paying for and to get their home taken back to pre-storm condition, sometimes even better than before, is really rewarding.
Yeah, no, I can, because the technology. I've learned about ridge vents and drip edges and
ice and water shields.
Ice and water shields. There's so many things now. The technology keeps getting better, so that when they fix your house, they're not putting the same stuff that was on there 20 years ago when you first got it built. They're putting it on what is the current technology and the current codes.
I was about to say, some of those are codes. Some of those are municipality codes. So they're strictly for the area that you specifically live in. We always make sure we work within those to ensure that your home is going to get the latest and greatest of all the technologies that you're talking about. We need to ensure that you're going to have those items.
We want your home taken care of the way we would take care of our homes.
Because the idea is that I'm coming back to do your roof the next time, or your home, whatever it is on your house. And that way then I know not only what's on it, but I know how I'm going to be able to help you moving forward.
One more question for you along those lines. Then what, as a person who might want to work for Advocate, what does it take for them to actually thrive, not just survive? What would you say, if you're going to do well, what kind of an attitude is necessary? What kind of an approach? And the training, I guess, that you guys provide too.
Yeah, I think when you think about that, it's competence automatically. If you enter an elevator, for example, and you find yourself kind of shaky with the person that's in there with you, you might not be fit for sales, and that's okay. But it's okay that you have a conversation in that elevator, talking about what that person might do for a living, talk about what they might be interested in, a hobby. That's how you network. That's how you grow experience, and that's how you learn the community around you to be able to understand how you can help them. So when we bring people in, it's walking down the streets, it's learning the streets, it's understanding the territory of the neighborhood that you live in, and talking with everyone. Because you're eventually going to find somebody who wants to help everybody around them, just like you are trying to do. And when you make that connection, it's otherworldly.
Figuring out what's motivating you. If you have a strong motivator, whether that be your family or a charity you want to donate to, whatever your motivator is, if you are locked into that and you have that bad day where you don't want to get up and you don't want to get moving, but you can look at what's truly motivating you and get out there and do it, the people that can push past discomfort. And, we kind of, as humans, sometimes tend to take the easier path. But the easy path isn't going to get you to your goals and your dreams and what you want to achieve. So someone who is laser focused on actually achieving what they want to in life will thrive here, because they're not going to let, someone who had a bad day ruin theirs. They're going to shake it off and keep going. And they're going to know that getting out there for their kids or their community is more important than one person that tried to rain on their parade.
Well said. And these are important things for anyone that just wants to be a good person on this planet. You got to align yourself with the companies that provide these kinds of opportunities. So that's what we're trying to highlight on our show here, everybody. So Advocate Construction doing that in 12. How many cities are you guys in now?
When you think about cities, we have three specific in one state, and that would be Dallas, Houston, and Austin. Okay. And so then we go into Nashville, Tennessee. There's
Chicago and Rockford are both in Illinois.
We have Wisconsin, and then we have, sorry guys.
Detroit, Kansas City, Indianapolis.
That's what I know. 12 different offices. But when you think about the way you asked the question, it was a little bit different than what I expected. But 12 different offices.
Well, my point to that is it's not, and I love the businesses that are based out of St. Louis and that's their sole location. But when you have a company that has, and there's some benefits to that, right? You're dealing, but at the same time, you want to have a company that's substantial that you know they're not going away.
So take our Dallas office, for example. We had someone from St. Louis, born and bred in St. Louis, worked with us here for years, and his wife's family lived in Texas, and they wanted to go closer to her family. He was one of our market founders of Dallas and brought family down there. Similar with Nashville, we had someone from the St. Louis office that wanted to change and wanted to move and went and opened our Nashville office. So St. Louis is spreading, basically. So we have strong roots here, but we also want to see people grow and thrive where they want to grow and thrive. And sometimes that's not always where they start out.
Well, as a guy who worked for a little brewery based out of St. Louis, you got me maybe know who I'm talking, Anheuser-Busch for 10 years. But it was interesting because I worked in the email department, managed email systems. But as I started off, I was answering phones. And a lot of times we would set up somebody, say, this is, we'll just make up a name, Bob Williams coming in from Newark. But he got moved to the corporate office because he wanted a promotion and got to move to St. Louis because he was a Cardinal fan, et cetera, whatever. But there was the opportunity to move around based on that. And it's a very daunting task to say, well, we have an issue with the family. I've got to move to another city. We've got to take care of whatever the issue might be. I got to start over. I got to find a new company to go work for. There's a lot of opportunity for people that work for you to move around within the country.
We're a construction company, for sure. But we're more of a people company, and we like to say that construction is just our byproduct, but we are very, very people-focused and driven. Where do you want to go in life? What do you want to do? What do you want to succeed? We will work so hard to get you the tools that you need to get to where you want to be. And sometimes that's not where you start. It might not be the city you're starting out in. It might not be the role that you're starting out in. We've hired people this year that will grow into roles that don't even exist yet. And that's so exciting. We have people, I mean, we are 23rd in the country right now. And we still feel like we're very much at the ground level of where we're going to go and where we're going to grow to. So people onboarding now still have the ability to help shape who we become. You can still get in, even though we are larger, at a ground level and help change the face of the organization.
Very exciting. But as we finish up, then how does somebody apply? There's a process here. What is that process for people to say, I would like to become a part of the team for Advocate?
Yeah, they just go to the website. So it's www.advocateconstruction.com. I believe you got it pulled up around us.
Yeah, go ahead.
/apply-today.
Yeah, /apply today. So it looks like you're going there. Let's
go ahead.
Yeah, so apply, and then it's got a dash today.
We'll see what happens.
Let's see what happens.
Oh,
Um,
I hit an extra P there. Sorry.
There we go.
There you go.
All right, there it is. So
Takes
put
you
that
right there.
put that up on the wall for everybody. So
Appreciate that.
there it is, everyone. Apply today. Pretty simple process. And it looks like it's just a matter of go to this page,
Go to that page, and then
fill
that
out
gives you
see that. Wow, there's a whole list.
That is the whole
yeah.
list of all of our opportunities within each market that we currently have opportunities existing in. So, and the picture that you saw up there is our wonderful work truck that you get there too. So,
There, I put that up there on the wall for everyone to see. There's a live shot of the website, advocateconstruction.com/APPLY, not APPP, dash today. You can see that URL. They call that Universal Resource Locator. This is your Little Castle Show.